Hey there guys, welcome back to Cop Talks and another video. So today I wanted to talk about the Milwaukee Tradesman knife. I found this at my local Ace hardware store a couple of weeks ago. Decided to pick it up and check it out. So first off, I wanted to compare this knife to another knife that I felt was pretty equivalent or similar to it, right? Now the knife that I found pretty similar to it was the MoraKniv, right? The Companion model specifically. It kind of has a similar sheath because this one just kind of clips onto your belt. This one does the same thing. They both have about 4-inch blades and overall length is about the same. Now obviously there are a few differences that I'm going to get into here in a second. Now starting off with the Milwaukee, go ahead and pull this out. Like I said, it has a very similar sheath, but this one is full tang. The blade metal goes all the way through the handle, and the handle is formed around the metal. It's made using AUS 8 stainless steel, which I have been able to stain because I've been using it. And that's, you can see a couple of blemishes there. That's just nothing. That's just some staining on the blade. And it does come with a limited lifetime warranty. So overall, not too bad. I picked this one up for about $23.99, but I have seen them for about $19, $20, you know, depending on where you're going. The belt clip, or the sheath here, the belt clip's actually not bad. It does do a good job. It's one solid piece construction. It says Milwaukee on it all over the place. The thing is, I just don't think it's going to last very long. It does fit in there nicely. It does hold it in quite well. It just seems very kind of cheap. You know, and that's, I feel kind of the same way about the MoraKniv, right? It does hold it in there very well, and I've never had an issue with the MoraKniv sheaths, but I just feel it's kind of lacking, right? So, in comparison, right? So we have this one, the Milwaukee, AUS 8 steel, full tang blade, you know, it's stainless. The MoraKniv itself is also about a 4-inch blade, but uses, well, it's a 4.1, and it uses 12C27 stainless, which is like their own little blend there, which is supposedly harder than carbon, but who knows? I don't know. I'm not a metallurgy expert. I just like knives. So they both come with a limited lifetime warranty, so that's actually pretty good. Now, if it's the end of the world and this is the only knife you're carrying, that warranty isn't going to mean shit, but, you know, take that for what you will. Now the Mora Sheath is very similar, like I said. It's got the belt clip, it's one solid piece construction, and this one on the MoraKniv, it kind of uses more of a friction, and you kind of do feel it pop in there. And the Milwaukee just kind of uses like a clip. It's got like a little lip right here on both sides, and that's what clips onto the blade. Yeah, it's nice. It doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. The MoraKniv usually retails for about $18 to $20, you know, and I've seen it at physical stores for like $24 or something like that. So very similarly priced to the Milwaukee. So what do I think? Which one's a better buy? Well, I've used MoraKnivs for quite some time. I had an original MoraKniv that came in like I think a Swedish first aid kit from like 1957 or something that I bought from Cheaper Than Dirt way back in the day before they were a shit company. Which, by the way, if you still buy from Cheaper Than Dirt, man, you should find a different supplier for your stuff. The Milwaukee, like I said, I've had it for a couple of weeks, and the most strenuous testing I've put it through has been basically gardening and doing spring work in my backyard. So, you know, cutting up little sticks, opening bags of topsoil, mulch, chicken feed, things like that. I was using it when it was very wet outside, and I just basically, whenever I wasn't using it, I just threw it into the ground. It's a pretty well balanced knife, actually. The grip is quite nice. It's a little slick. It doesn't offer a ton of grip. It's just straight plastic. It does have a lanyard hole here in the back, so you could do like a wrist strap on it if you wanted. The blade came actually quite sharp. I was pretty surprised. It's got some grooves up here so you can kind of do some carving and whittling, and you know, if you need that extra leverage from your thumb. Honestly, it's a pretty decent little knife. Would I carry it for bushcraft though? If I had to, yeah. But honestly, I kind of like to keep to low-key colors and stuff, and a giant bright red handle just isn't doing it for me. And the sheath is kind of lacking. Now, if I could make, which I can, but, you know, if I make a better sheath for it and stuff, you know, I'd probably consider it. I think I'm still going to default to the MoraKniv, just because I like the grind that's on this blade, the Scandi grind. And then the grip on here is extremely comfortable. It is extremely comfortable, and it's very grippy, for lack of better words. It has a lot of traction. It almost has like it has a rubberized kind of sleeve on it right here, and it's just a very positive control on the knife, and I like that a lot. So let's do something completely ridiculous and unfair. Let's compare this to an actual bushcrafting knife that I carry. So what we have here is the Ontario Knife Company Cerberus. I've had this knife for 2 years, going on about 2 years. Picked this up at the NRA convention from the guys at OKC. This one is probably one of my favorite knives. It's very well balanced. It's got a great grip. These are actually G10 scale grips. They've been cut and molded, not molded, but they've been machined, and basically everything just fits really good in the hand. It's a 4.7 inch blade. Well, 4.76 if you want to get specific. So about 0.76 inches longer than these two. The steel is actually D2, and it's been Parkerized just like a AR-15 barrel, or like, you know, the old M16 barrels, to maintain that oil and you know, keep it from rusting, which actually it's doing a pretty good job of. This thing has been wholly abused, and it still is like freaking razor sharp. It's got a nice flat edge right here for striking. Ferro rods, which this one doesn't. They kind of beveled everything, which, you know, for aesthetics and comfort isn't that bad. But if you're going to use it on ferro rods, or, you know, trying to process some material, it's going to be kind of a tricky thing. The Mora, they kind of did the same thing. It's a little bit beveled. I usually end up just using like the very back part of the blade right here for my ferro rod, since I primarily use this whole section for cutting, slicing, and things like that. I'll just use this very last bit right here for the ferro rod, which you could do the same for the Milwaukee. It doesn't come with a warranty as far as I can tell. It is made in the USA, and I know the company stands behind a lot of their products. So I imagine if you did have an issue, which I don't know why, this thing is legit built like a fucking tank. I mean, look at the blade thicknesses compared to like the Mora, and you know, this isn't even a full tang. This one is, but compared to like just your $20 knife, you can tell this one's a little bit more substantial. And like I said, the Milwaukee was about $24. The MoraKniv usually runs about $20, but the OKC Cerberus runs about $150. So you can definitely tell a difference in quality just by picking it up. And, you know, like I was always told, you know, buy once, cry once. It took me a while to figure that out. I don't know why. I guess I was stubborn and was like, nah, the cheap stuff will work just fine. To an extent, yes, it will. Will the Milwaukee serve you well? Yes, but it's got a softer blade. The Aus-8 steel, it sharpens very quickly, but it also dulls very quickly. Now, I have not sharpened it since I've been using it in the yard and stuff, but it hasn't really gone through any kind of strenuous cutting. The MoraKniv holds its edge very, very well. Their steel that they use is very impressive. The grind that they use makes it very easy to sharpen, and it's just been a pleasure to use. The OKC, it's a little bit more difficult to sharpen because it's a harder steel, but if you have the right sharpener and a little bit of patience, it'll last a lot longer too. But yeah, anyway, overall, all three of these are pretty decent knives, but if you're in a budget mindset, I like the Milwaukee. It's full tang. I just wish there was a few things that they did differently. I wish there was a better sheath, which, you know, that's trivial. You can make your own sheath, or you can probably have one made, you know, whatever. I wish the handle wasn't bright red, but that's kind of their trademark, so, you know, big whoops. Ergonomically, the grip is not bad. It's missing texture. It's quite slick. I wish they would have gone maybe with a rubberized or some, you know, kind of texture. Like the Mora, it's just very, very grippy. And this one, even though it doesn't have a whole lot of texture, it's still very grippy and just fits in the hand well. So, you know, that's something I wish they would do. The MoraKniv, you know, still kind of my go-to. I think that's the one I would recommend just for like regular use. I think the Milwaukee could take more of a beating since it's full tang. The MoraKniv is not. It kind of ends right around here. This one's full tang. I mean, if you're gonna go out and spend some money, I would definitely recommend getting something along the lines of the Cerberus here. It'll last you a lifetime if you don't lose it, because you're not gonna break it, I don't think. But overall, they're all pretty decent knives, but I just wanted to kind of give my opinion on those two. Anyway, guys, if you appreciated this video, if it helped you out at all, if you even found it a little bit entertaining, which I don't know why, because I was just sitting here talking and pointing at knives, you know, go ahead and hit that like button. It helps me out a lot. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit that bell notification, because YouTube hates me since I do gun-related things and, you know, police-related things. They're just like, hey, fuck off. We're not going to notify anybody of your videos. And, yeah, they just don't like me. But, you know what? If you want to join the Cop Talks fam, by all means, join us. I try to do live events, I do giveaways, I try to have a lot of fun, I try to interact with all my people, and we usually have a really good time. So anyway, guys, I really appreciate you joining me in today's video. I hope you guys are staying safe out there in all this craziness. If you need anything, you can email me at coptalks@gmail.com. I'm also an emergency management coordinator, so if you have any other questions about preparedness or, you know, staying safe or ideas, or you just want somebody to talk to and kind of bounce ideas off of, I'll do that for you. Anyway, guys, stay safe out there. Take care of each other. Remember the golden rule, and I'll catch you in the next one.